That is hilarious. The phone does not want to let me do it sideways here. Welcome aboard, everybody. So we're going to open up with our tingshas. So I would invite you to just take a few deep breaths into your body. Let this sound fill your whole awareness, your whole level of consciousness. Listen for the sound. And as it goes away, keep listening. Welcome on board. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to see if the sound is better today. I changed some settings and wanted to see if it came out better. And hopefully next time I can figure out how to do the phone sideways again, because it doesn't seem to want to do it for me. So I'm going to try that next time. Good evening, dear Ellie K. And I'm so glad to see all the people who are on here. We come on board here every Monday evening at 7 because I want to provide, and we would like, thank you, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, Ellie K. And Johnny Neal, good evening. I want to provide both a safe space for us to go within, to go deeper on our meditation journey, to explore different levels of consciousness and awareness, and potentially hold sacred space for you so that you can find a moment of reprieve, so that you can find a moment of coming back home into yourself, using your breath to guide you into your body, becoming aware of any blockages or things that are in the way of your breathing deep into your body. When you're taking that deep breath, is there anything that's tightening up, or any pain, any twinging, any wincing pain anywhere in your body when you take a deep breath? This is how we bring awareness to our system. This is how, when you find any kind of blockage, you can start to, if you breathe into that space, wherever that block is, could be in your heart, could be in the solar plexus, could be in the sacral chakra. A lot of us have blocks in the sacral chakra area, or the throat for that matter. And when you find a contraction, we call them contraction, which is where your body is holding on to trauma and pain. It holds on to what started out as a pain, emotional or physical. It holds on to it and creates a contraction around it, in order to protect you from further hurt. So when we start to recognize that sometimes our posture is a little out of whack, sometimes parts of our body are hurting in ways that we just think is normal, because we don't really know anything better, because the trauma happened quite early in life, so we don't know that we're sitting with a contraction in our system. We don't realize that, when I was growing up, I was told by doctors and nurses that my back was too flat, that I should never work with any physical labor in my whole life, no heavy lifting. And I have, until a few years back, I almost didn't do anything else. I worked as a carpenter for close to 20 years. And with a lot of heavy lifting. And I worked out hard in the gym. So it turned out that it could get better. Trenton Shine, you're here with your Artist Way group of 15 artists watching. Well, that is beautiful. You guys are so very welcome. That fills my heart with a lot of joy and light. I'm very grateful. You're very welcome here. And I am happy to hear about the artist's way. Sorry, now we're switching gears here, right? We're talking about contraction. We're talking about finding places in our body where we have pain stored. And as you start to breathe into it, if you're an artist, you can almost see this too, right? You start breathing into the contraction. And sometimes you can get memories or images of what is going on in that place. So when I started, I was healing my heart with deep breaths and allow it, because when you breathe into something, your body can heal itself. You have to let it heal. So then you start breathing in space into wherever you have a contraction. If it's around your neck, you release and relax around your neck. If it's around your heart, you start to create space around the heart, below, beneath, behind, above, on the sides. All around it, you create space in front of it. And as I had been told by doctors and nurses when I was growing up that my lower back was too flat. And that was due to trauma. That was due to trauma that got stuck in my sacral chakra area, which is the part around your belly button. And if you experience a lot of either emotional or physical abuse, it's going to get stuck in different parts of your body, and then you're going to have a contraction. So if you have a lot of fear, and I grew up with a lot of fear, and then I contracted in my stomach area, that created, if your spine is supposed to have this kind of curvature, but your stomach is on the front here, there's a contraction here, my muscles were spassing together, right? That creates the wrong curvature on your back. It's going to allow you to have a lot of back problems in your life. Or if you're a woman and if you happen to be ashamed of the way you looked when you became a young woman, a lot of times young women are starting to hide. They start to hide because they don't want to be exposed to bullies or to other girls teasing them, so they start to hide. And if you start to hide and your posture starts to get a little sunken over because you're protecting yourself emotionally, you're going to develop neck or back problems. And you're going to think, and often doctors say, well, you're just kind of built wrong, or you have a poor back, or not realizing that it's a connection to an emotional state. And as we begin to heal that emotional state, we also start to release the fear, the shame, the guilt, and we start to let it out of our system, and we can straighten out, and we can get a much better posture. And suddenly the misalignment, we were out of alignment, suddenly that can move. And this is how we create more flow in our system. And if you are a creative person, as I saw that a lot of you are, then you're going to be in that space of maybe feeling like there are blocks going on, that we're blocked, or that we have an ego in the way of saying, I got to make the best thing ever, instead of just letting life flow through us. And as we breathe into these inner spaces, and we create space for the trauma to slowly begin to move, life flow energy, life force energy starts to flow through you. And you will be surprised how much inspiration you'll find. You'll be surprised how many images show up for you, that if you're an artist, a painter, or even a writer, you'll just start to write because you're writing out of consciousness, the flow. And if you're in that space, you realize there's no fear in that space. And suddenly we can paint whatever, we can make whatever. And it's a beautiful experience. I find it to be a beautiful experience. So we are realizing that there's trauma stopping the flow in our body. There is trauma contracting so that we can't breathe deeply into our body. And one thing with a contraction like that is that we also realize that when a muscle is tight, anywhere in your body, your fascia, your nervous system is creating tightness, there's no flow of oxygen either, right? So when there's no flow of oxygen, there's no flow of blood in that area, or vice versa. There's no blood flow, or less blood flow. That means less oxygen. That means less healing. That means that there can be more diseases that can fester, that can take place. Because almost like if we look at murky waters, where water sits still too long, when there's no inflow or outlet, it goes bad. And that is what happens to our physicality as well. either energetically or physically. They're very interlinked, right? They're very interconnected. So as we start to explore our inner field, our inner awareness, and we become more aware of what happens in ourselves, we also bring a level of consciousness into this moment, present moment awareness. And as we become more aware of ourselves in the moment, we're starting to explore a space of no thought, a deep space of inner awareness. In one way, we can look at that as if you're sitting at the bottom of a deep ocean. And let's say you have 40, 50 feet of water above you. And you're sitting on the bottom of the ocean calm, really, really calm. And you feel that deep stillness and silence that happens down there. And suddenly you feel a certain inner peace connected to that place you are in. And you might see a big fish swimming by. But we're just going to let that swim by. Maybe you'll see a shark come by. We're going to let that swim by as well, because when we're sitting still like that, nothing's really coming up to us. So much like if a thought comes by, we can let it keep going. We don't have to grab onto it and become the thought. Or if a fear comes swimming by, we don't have to grab onto that fear and make it a reality in our lives. This is much akin to what it's like to sit on the bottom of the ocean and just sit. It's a beautiful, beautiful experience, right? So, today I also wanted to address that we do have some horrific uprisings going on in the world, horrific happenings going on, with a lot of people falling victims to a lot of violence. And in these cases, what we can do with it, we can acknowledge the pain and the suffering. We can see the tremendous amount of suffering going on. But we can also keep staying in our deeper inner space, realizing that it doesn't really help anyone if we also start feeding into the frenzy of negativity, of anger, of fear. That what helps is if we sit in that deep inner space. Because what happens if we start feeding the flames? If we feed the flames, they just get worse. So when we look at the suffering going on, we will call it suffering. And a lot of manipulation. A huge amount of manipulation. This is to rile everybody up. This is to start these ripples in the quantum field, right? So in the energy field, when we look at what we pick up on in the ether, the ripples of fear that are going on and then turning into anger are tremendous. And we can feel them at least all across the Western world. Now, if we look at let's say a lake, and let's say that lake and one part of the lake turns cold from fear. It turns cold, really cold. Does it help the lake, or does it stop the cold if you bring more cold to it? If you bring more ice to the part where it's already cold, is it going to help it get warmer again? Or will it help to bring warmth to the area that is cold? And we know what the answer is, right? We know. When I put it that way, we know that of course it helps to bring warmth to the cold area. Of course it helps to bring love to fear. But it doesn't help to bring fear to fear. It doesn't help to bring anger to anger. It helps to bring love. right? So it's much like Dr. Martin Luther King said, right? Hate begets hate. Hate cannot chase out hate. Only love can. And you and I, as an individual human being, are responsible for what's in our field. We are responsible for what's going on within our reactions, what's happening within us. So we want to see, how can we stay connected to a deeper inner state, regardless of what's going on out there? Because it doesn't really help to feed the fear, right? It only helps if we sit in our deeper inner space. So we grow roots into Earth Mother. We envision what it's like to grow these energetic ties. And we grow a connection up to Father Sky. So we can feel our crown chakra being connected up. We can feel our root chakra being grounded. And we can feel our whole energy center being held between these two energy forces of our planet. It's a beautiful space to be in. And we get very strong in our inner energy field. We get very strong in where we stand, where we sit, where we walk. And in that sense, we join forces with our other light workers. We join forces with our other light warriors, where we know that when we stand for love or peace, we come from an open heart space. We know we're not coming throwing opinions at anybody. We're not saying anybody's right or wrong. All we know is that we're coming from love. In this way, we grow even stronger. And this way, we can affect the quantum field in a way that we never could and we never can if we are completely caught up in the drama, the trauma, the fear, the worry. And one way to get back to that level of love, that inner connection, one way to do it is to remind ourselves of that inner core of gratitude in our body, of that inner center of life in your system. So when we start feeling into our body, we start to recognize that, oh, I feel so alive right now. I feel a sense of aliveness in my system. Can I share that with others? Can I sit in this love and strengthen it so I can share that with the world? It's a beautiful experience. It is that matter of coming back home, continuously coming back home, continuously opening up our inner channels, continuously learning about being honest with ourselves, being real with what's within us, continuously seeing if we have any blockages in any part of our chakra system or any feelings of contraction or pain in our internal organs, in our lungs, wherever it might be. And when we find the contraction, we breathe into it, allowing life force to flow, allowing love to happen, life to happen. And as we connect deep in the quantum field, this ripples out into the physicality of our world too. And the more of us who become aware that there is a quantum field level of existence, that there is a realm we can call the unseen, and the more we connect to it, the more we heal ourselves and we heal the quantum field, the more that, because the thing is, energy informs physicality. So what's in the energetic field informs how the physical expresses itself. And when we go deep within, we gain access to our conscious connection to the quantum field. And in that space, we learn how to, or that we are, affecting the field. With all the feelings we have, all the states we're in, we're affecting the field. Hmm. So I would like to encourage you to move on inside of yourself, to go on within. Envision your energy body being full of light. Create an expansion around your body. Let your throat relax. Let your shoulders come down. Expand your aura system, your energy system. Expand your body. Fill it with light. Fill it with love. Fill it with gratitude. Envision yourself with pink light. And as you're sitting with that, also envision yourself growing roots into Earth Mother, feeling what that feels like. Realizing that with our energy roots, we are sucking up energy from our home planet, Earth Mother herself. And as we start to reconnect to our original core energy, which is Earth Mother, we gain strength. And our whole energy system starts to balance itself out. And as we also sit in this, our crown opens up, our third eye starts to open up. And we are connecting more deeply with Father Sky as well. You may also get a lot of inspirational thoughts or inspired thoughts, a lot of visions. What we're going to do now is we're going to go into a healing part of this talk. And I would like to ask you to come with an open mind. There are a lot of sounds and unusual frequencies and vibrations that are working through. And if you sit with your open heart, open mind, you will take it in easier. The healing work still works. The healing still works. Because in some ways of looking at it, if you put your hand in the electric outlet in the wall, you will feel the power, regardless if you believe in that or not. Energy work is very similar. It doesn't truly matter if we believe in it. It can be helpful. We can allow our bodies to heal. But the work still works. The energy still flows. Okay, everyone. We're going to open up sacred space. And I'd like to invite you to envision both that you're growing roots into Earth Mother, that you are connected up to Father Sky, energy streaming up through your crown chakra and third eye up to Father Sky. Then I would also like to invite you to envision between you and I, in front of you, there is a fire, an energetic fire of healing light. And whatever you have that's bothering you, whether it's worry and fear about the war that seems to be breaking out, or if it is something that's blocking you inside of you, or if you have a voice from a parent that complained and criticized you, bring that up to the surface and begin to release it into this fire that we have between us. Offer it up to the fire, the healing light fire. And we will also assist in removing that out of your system with your permission. So just go within, take a few deep breaths. Na o yo ka te o ta he o ai 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 mahi to te o yo 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 Te o wa e o wahi o ko ko tai a te o wa e o yo 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 hay 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 yo wa e a ka te o to ta e a o ta e a te o wa e o wa e o wa e o taia, eu, wahi yo, taia. Gutaya Deo Wahio 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 Wahio Gutaya. Ateo, 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 ateo. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Welcome back in the room, everyone. I'm grateful you were here. Oh, thank you, Trenton Shine. I'm so glad you were all here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful we were all here. This was a beautiful experience. There's a lot of clearings going on in the field. And I'm happy I got to share this space with you. And hopefully I'll see you again next Monday. So much love, everybody. Take good care. Namaste and aho. Bye-bye, everyone.